So it's been kind of a while since we've seen the iPhone lineup get a design refresh, but recently we've been hearing rumors that the entire lineup could finally be getting redesigned this year with the iPhone 16. As it stands right now, the base iPhones have a diagonal camera layout, and the Pros have their cameras and everything else grouped together in a square module. But with the 16s, we could end up seeing Apple switching to a vertical layout, and this wouldn't even just be for the sake of a redesign. When Apple came out with the 15 Pro, they added the ability to record spatial 3D video that you could view through the Vision Pro. But recording this was exclusive to the Pro models since Apple's implementation needed the main camera and the ultra wide to be stacked vertically on top of each other. And we have been hearing rumors that Apple might be bringing this down to the base iPhone 16 this year, but doing so would require them to reposition those cameras in that same vertical layout. Now, there are a couple ways that Apple could end up going about this. One of the ways is similar to the iPhone 10, where the cameras were flush in a black pill-shaped module, and the other is a bit more like the Galaxy S24 Plus, where the lenses are separate from each other. Whichever design they go with, they may end up doing it for both the base models and the Pro models to keep the lineup looking fairly consistent. But another rumor we've been hearing about lately is the possibility of a new capture button. Now, we didn't really have a lot of details on this at first when we first started hearing about it, but lately we've been starting to get more of the details of what it would actually be like if it came out on the iPhone 16. For what we've heard so far, it may sit flush in the bottom right-hand corner where the 5G antenna is right now. And not only would it let people take pictures kind of like an actual camera by pushing the button, but supposedly it would also be a touchpad that could let people zoom in or out by sliding their finger on the button. And while we're talking about cameras, we're also hearing about the possibility of upgraded zoom. Even though the base iPhones might not be getting a telephoto lens this year again, we have been hearing that the 16 Pro could get the 5x zoom lens from the 15 Pro Max in place of the 3x zoom from last year. But the 16 Pro Max could go even further with what's being referred to as a super telephoto lens. This was something that I kind of touched on in my original video on the iPhone 16 rumors a couple months back, but lately we have been hearing other news supporting the possibility of it showing up this year. As a point of reference for the camera geeks in the audience, the telephoto lens on the 13 Pro and the 14th Pro has a focal length of 77mm, while the 16 Pro Max's telephoto lens would have a focal length of over 300mm. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this would impact optical zoom at shorter distances, but theoretically it would give the Pro Max a much further zoom distance at a maximum. And there is also another rumor that's a little bit sketchy, so definitely take this with a grain of salt, but if it's true, Apple may be planning to merge the normal iPhone lineup with the iPhone SE. If they do this, then we could end up seeing a lineup with the iPhone 16, the 16 Pro, the 16 Pro Max, the 16 SE, and the 16 SE Plus. I'm not exactly sure how true this is, but Apple does seem to be refreshing the lineup every 2 years or so. With the iPhone XS, we had 3 iPhone models, which changed to 4 with the 12, and then the Mini got replaced with the Plus with the 14. So if Apple did merge the lineups this year, then it would fall right in line with this. But if it doesn't happen this year, then the rumor did indicate the possibility of it being pushed back to the iPhone 17 next year. But one rumor that seems to be way more likely to happen is better battery life. From the rumors we've had so far, the 16 Pro Max could end up getting upgraded to a maximum battery life of about 30 hours, which is up from about 29 hours on the 15 Pro Max. And this would be helped thanks to bigger batteries as well as the new A18 chips that will be powering the new iPhones. Speaking of these new chips, one of the big focuses of the A18 will be artificial intelligence. If you haven't heard, Samsung came out with their new Galaxy AI features on the S24 lineup, and Apple will supposedly be hoping to compete with this on the iPhone 16. If you'll learn more about some of the new features that they could come out with, I actually made a video on this, which you can check out by clicking right here. We don't really know too many of the details yet, but if you do want to hear what we do know so far, then be sure to click right here, and I'll see you over there. Adios.